Aries, nice to see you. Paulina here, talking about you and the new esoteric new year as we are embarking on Aries during the equinox on the 21st of March 2017. And this is the beginning of the year, which ends on the 21st of March 2018. And why have I not gone with the original year, you're probably wondering? Because I've been pulling a lot of knowledge into me in that time, and I've been asking a lot of questions, and all the answers were basically, don't worry yet, it's not the end of the year, you don't have to have anything resolved yet, this is not the end of the year. And the energy that was coming through me when I was channeling the daily forecast was telling me and reminding me almost every day to reprogram the way that I look at the year. So this is why I am suggesting to you that the year begins with you. The year begins with the 21st of March as Aries kicks into the zodiac wheel. Hello, welcome. So who are you? You are the newborn, you are the new dimension and the new shift. Always are, always will be. That's just the nature, that's the nature of your energy, that's the nature of your game. Pleased to meet you. Hope you guessed my name. So hello, thank you very much for tuning in. Let's talk about you and this following portal. So in the previous portal you had to relate and understand that people were okay. And hopefully you've done that, and by the end of the transit, by the end of March, as the year wanes, you would have probably understood a few things about yourself, and you probably would have thought, hey, it's not that bad, like people aren't actually easy or hard, they're just me, like they're just very similar to me. That was the ideal energy, and almost like, oh, a relaxation, like put down your sword, put down your gun, like put down your shield, it's fine, it's okay. That was the main purpose of the previous dimension. And hopefully it has brought you out of the dark or out of the deep into a new situation, a polarity. Maybe you are feeling like you're in heaven, maybe you are feeling very, very well fed and looked after, as much would have provided you, probably most likely a situation that is too good to be true or too nice to you. There could have been a lot of different people circulating around you by the beginning of March, which would have aided you in your progress. And by mid-March, you would have understood maybe that everything's fine, everything's civil, and I can just commence on this game as usual. But too good for you can sometimes become a sifty time. Like when things are too good for you, sometimes it can actually make you rage inside, but you don't know that you're raging, because something about Aries has to be on edge all the time. So the dimension of your human context has changed. The way that you are with people has shifted, but now what, what to do? And the time and place is now. Basically design something for yourself, as you most likely will have premonitions before March becomes Aries time. Before the 21st of March, you might have already premonition of where you're going. You might have a very good future plan already. So what to do with this time? Definitely grief if you have to. If you've got grief left over and uncertainty and you still don't trust anyone, it definitely has to go before we kick into you on the 21st, because otherwise it becomes part of you. It's like a blueprint for the year. So basically what I'm telling you is how you start 21st of March is going to resonate. It's going to be like through space and time. So if you are Aries, or if you've got an Arian friend who's having like a hard time, it's not a very good idea to leave them behind. I've got a friend like that as well. Let them know that they need it and they want it, and they got the world at their feet for some reason. They got something or somebody putting them into the right direction, putting them into the right context. So there will be at least one or two people as an Arian that will definitely see you and resonate with you, and kind of at least hint as to where to next. Another thing for this year coming from March 2017 is directions are plenty, but you need to know exactly which flag are you holding. So hopefully by the end of the previous year you would have understood that you have a certain type of timeline. You maybe would have thought to yourself, I'm actually an actor. I don't care if I work as a janitor, I'm actually an actor, and that's a big part of my game. So have a look at that flag that you're carrying. Perhaps you've understood that you were the alleviator or the truth maker or the truth bringer, or the creator. You would have resonated by the end of the previous cycle with who you really want to be in the game. So imagine it as almost like a world, like a computer game world if you want, and you can choose any character you want. If you want to simplify things that much and say, for example, I'm a knight and I've got a white flag and I've got big wings, like things like that are easy. During this time, as we're still in Pisces, it's really easy to generate a dream for yourself that will last forever, because we are in Libra, so the dream has to resonate with you on a soul level. So have a look at your identity and re-identify, even if it doesn't seem right to you yet. Just have a look at least at where your life has been going, where it's headed, what kind of character do you play in each situation, what kind of future do you see for yourself. It's a really good time to have a look at that now, because we're going into the blocky energy of the rooster. I feel that this is going to be a particular year. It's going to be a particularly welcoming year for anybody who's got a purpose and who's got a flag that they're there. Anybody who's got a very, very strong feeling for the future, who wants to protect somebody, who wants to alleviate the struggles for another person, definitely. But also you have to be within yourself, know that it is your game, it's not anybody else's, so you're not doing it for another person, you're kind of doing it as a personal creed. It'll be a very, very welcoming time to start a family. It'll be a very, very strange and ambitious time to maybe start a cult or a union with other people under your flag, so to form some kind of emotional movement, but it can definitely work out for the better if you're clear of mind, if you're not too overthinking about it. If you are just straightforward, people might actually follow you. Even, say you're a busker in the street, you might actually generate a lot of income from that. If you're just stepping yourself out, as the banner bearer, or the flag bearer, this is my flag, this is my creed, and people will just come to you and they'll sort of like sing your song and do your dance. So it's a really nice time to be a performer, but you have to almost like put everything in one basket, or you have to be the presence. For example, if you go, I want to be an actor, but at the same time, say for example, I want to work out a lot and I want to master yoga, but at the same time, say I want to be a businessman and I'm thinking about, getting a lot of money in my account, that's not really going to work, because you're spreading yourself over different avenues. And for an Aries, at this type of time, it's not such a good way forward. Sometimes it is open-mindedness and having lots of different baskets to put your eggs, but at this point, you're better off trumpeting or tromboning like a certain type of energy that will stick with you. Like for example, I'm an actress, and then everything's got to change. So even to the point where, say, if you're somebody who's quite flimsy and you've got a lot of Pisces and Libra in your chart, maybe you've got a lot of Piscean friends, and part of you feels, I'm neither or, nothing's real, do I think I'm an actor? I don't know, what is an actor? And you get all conceptual about it and you forget everything. So what to do? Say you want to be an actor, put something in a frame, like put your favorite celebrity in a frame and put them over your bed, and maybe like, say for example, you love Sylvester Stallone. Every time you wake up, you look at Sylvester and go, Sylvester would have been proud of me, or something like that. So just generate for yourself some kind of a visual cue, because Aries is quite like a basic energy. Like it sort of gets stimulated by basic outcomes and sort of basic cues in its environment. So for example, put like a quote, an inspirational quote, or like even a note under your bed saying, I'm going to be, I am the actor, I'm going to be this great thing one day, because it'll definitely help you, guide you, only if you have trouble identifying yet. But if you have no trouble identifying, if you're actually one of those people that are a little bit on the insane side of ambition, meaning you already have it all in your system, you already think that you know it all and you can already predict it a few moves ahead, that's a different story. So you got a lot of Capricorn and Scorpio in your system, you got like a lot of ambitious friends, it's not a very good time to justify anything, or be very, very pushy about it. Say for example, you're going to be like, for example, a poet, or you're going to be an artist, and or scientist, doesn't matter who, and you just know it. And if it's already strong inside you, don't emphasize it, but definitely don't go ahead. How can I say? It's still about balance here. Don't go ahead without other people. For example, okay, great idea. So if you're a basker and you're thinking, I'm going to go bask and everybody's going to come and listen to me, but say, for example, something's gone wrong and you haven't learned the previous lessons, nobody comes and people throw rotten tomatoes at you, and you're like, I'm not quite sure as to where to, I thought music was my thing, Paulina, come on, you told me to do it. And the best thing here is to understand that it's okay, so it's not your day, but you got to keep on doing it. Maybe music on the street is not your avenue, maybe you need to write songs and play them in a different setting. Maybe your music is suited to a different audience. Maybe have a look at it in a different way, but still remain who you want to be. But definitely don't go ahead and try when people are resisting you. For example, every time you go to band practice, your car breaks down. Okay, that's not a good idea. Or like say you get in trouble with your boss because you're too ambitious about, say, money. Say, if you work for a bank and you're really ambitious and you always feel like you're on top of things beyond, your peers and things like that. So just notice when your body heads, because it becomes a war. And during the year like this, it's not going to be the best year. I mean, it might be like, if you're really fiery, it might be like, say, you're combating something that you don't know exists almost. And then you wake up as if out of a dream and you were just battling yourself. Like the dream falls away and there was never a scene, there was never any other characters. You were just fighting yourself the whole time and you didn't really use this time constructively. So definitely imagine yourself maybe as the proud warrior that like saves the country, like the proud singer, that sings the words that everybody wants to know, or like the proud something that's also very, very loved and ingrained in other people's minds and hearts. And just watch for that, the balance between yourself and other people. If you are fighting with anybody during this year, that's a wake-up call to you, and to me, because I'm Aries Ascendant here in New Zealand. If you're fighting, or if you are still ongoing with some kind of a battle that should have never been, it's not a good idea to go forward. Even if it's your mom, even if it's like some guy on the bus, have a look at yourself. So every time you've got like an angular energy with another person that turns into a little combat, it's a really good idea to stop and have a look at why there's going, where there's going, and how come it's still there. Any kind of people this year are very nurturing. For some reason, I'm feeling that you are really mastering the communion within, and through that, the communication improves. Your communication with other people improves. It's not a great idea to form any kind of click that's unclickable though, because sometimes Aries can do that. So for example, you've got people following you and you like say do a genre of music, but say all the other genres are not good. You have to make it an open invite, and just see, because it's a very, very interesting year, because you'll actually see if you've got a presence, how popular you can get this year. You can see where popularity is and what is the key to your type of salesmanship of your gifts, or what is the key to your own self-marketing, basically. You might actually find that, say, if you don't sing these songs, you sing these songs, you get like double the views on YouTube, or you get more clicks, or you get more likes, so people really buy your music. So it's a really interesting year for marketing and anything communication wise. It's a very, very fruiting year. I don't think it'll be right for you to stay away, even if you say, for example, drawing or writing or doing something inside a laboratory. It's not a great time to stay away. Even if you have a very closed-in lifestyle, really make it your thing to go out more, or to communicate. Make yourself open for union with other people. Even if it's online, definitely step out and step up your game with people this year. And any other news, babies are great, but they're not like too promising if, say, you wanted it for a long time. It should be like a flash of inspiration. For example, if you're a young family, you're part of a young family, you decide that I want a baby, it needs to be completely serendipitous. Like, say, if you've been planning a baby, and say it's March now, and you have seen nothing, and you see that also, like, for example, the fruits of your labor, you know what I mean? It's not showing. Like, nothing is showing, say, you're trying to form a new kind of system, you're trying to create artwork, and it's just falling through your fingers, it's just not working. If things are like that, it's definitely not a time to resume. It's actually a really nice time to, this year, gradually, to close up everything that has not worked before. And this is going to be hard for me, as I'm sure many other creative people, like, to understand that baby's not going to go through. Say, for example, if I've written a book and it's just not going to get published, it's just not going to get published. So it's like you just write it off and you just allow it to be the abyss. You just allow it to be energy elsewhere, because energy, okay, it's quite a hard topic for Aries because it doesn't like to lose. Energy doesn't just go nowhere. For example, you're in a relationship with somebody and you've been committed for a long time, you've been working on it for a long time, really trying to make it work as well. That could be one of those things as well. And then you understand it's just not happy. It's just not fun, and no matter how much you try, it's just not sticking itself together. So when it comes to relationships, committed relationships as well, also human beings that are fun and cute and curious that you're trying to have relationships with, children and projects, hobbies, things like that. Even animals, you might have to put an animal down this year. So when you understand that it's just not working, like say you got a really unhealthy cat and keeps on getting diseases and is just not well, you know what I mean, it's not living a full life, it's a good idea to close up things and put things out of their misery this year if that's likely. And any other way? Well, this year is very, very, very good for fruitful understanding. That's like, how can I say? You know, when you can imagine like a scientist or like a mad artist and they get a eureka and they become so excited and intense. Like if you can imagine Salvador Dali painting and understanding that he really likes his painting. You know, that feeling of just absolute success and the feeling of grandeur almost. Don't be afraid of that, because in this particular vibration that's coming for an Arian, it's actually not so bad. The vibration of subdued, you know, like, oh yeah, oh shucks, you know, yeah, you know, I just wrote a play and, you know, it's gonna get screened, you know, oh yeah, don't worry about it, you know, like that kind of energy of the tall poppy syndrome is not gonna take you far. So this year is really interesting because it's quite blocky and quite a geometric year. It's quite strong in color and flavor. The big flavor of emotion is going to give you a lot more than taking it down a notch. Where before maybe you noticed that people didn't understand you unless you were some kind of like a subdued person. But here, if you are in a good way, if you are having a winning streak, if you're having happiness, sometimes we feel like we can't express it because we're almost afraid of jinxing it or giving it away to another. If you're really happy and you know it, clap your hands. So if you're happy and you know it, Aries, just let us know. Really vibrate it, really joke about it, really laugh, you know, really, really laugh, and kind of know how to, in a sort of metaphorical way, if you had your emotions in a barrel, how to generously scoop out of your barrel of emotions so it never gets stale. Because it's the thing sometimes with Arians, because they understand that they're quite different and unique sometimes in certain situations, and they feel themselves almost worthless because they're not worthy components yet, because they're meant to be like the protruders or the first. Quite often they'll become very subdued, and in that they'll find peace and happiness. But by the end of this transit, by March 2018, you might realize or recognize that it wasn't really that fun unless you really got to show and express yourself. So for example, you got the deal, like you got that deal, take yourself to a really nice restaurant, splash out on some drinks, buy some strangers drinks, wear that amazing velvet suit or that amazing crimson dress. It's not a bad time for this. Any kind of parading and showing people that you're succeeding, only if you feel it though. Only if you feel it, and maybe even if you don't. You know, it's a very actually successful time to pull, how can I say, to pull more, to pull in greater things just by showing the world how happy you are about what is already. So it's a real test though. It doesn't sound too bad now as we are in Pisces at the moment, but it is a test because some of us have really grown up feeling or presuming that we are not good enough even if we do really well, or we do not quite contend, we don't quite exist. You know, we don't quite exist even though we've done so much. So it's actually a really nice time for us to show everything that we are, almost like as if you are taking your rib cage and you're pulling it open. Here is my heart. It's actually not so bad, unless it's like a personal thing, like say, don't leave me, look at my heart. You know, like say someone's leaving you behind or you're leaving somebody, you know, you realize you don't want to. It's not about personal relationships this year, ironically, even though many people will tell you it is because you got Jupiter and Libra. No. But it's a really, 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 really awesome optimum time to just scream out, you know, go to the top of the mountain and scream your name at the top of the mountain just because you can. It's a really amazing time to go to the middle of the ocean and just jump into the water, jump into the stream and splash around and laugh and, you know, go scuba diving and skydiving, lots of different things to eliminate any doubt, because for you, Aries, this year, doubt grows on you like nothing else when you understand the success of other people beyond yours. And understanding that, for example, you know, I'm 39 and I've never actually been in that play, you know, or like I'm 45 and I never had a child. So when you're at this point, sometimes in this type of year, you can actually lose yourself, and you can lose a lot more than you think you're losing. You can lose your status, you can lose your health, you can lose your family members, you can lose limbs, you can lose a lot if you're not like constantly, how can I say, like doing a Tarzan scream, or there's like a conscious elevation sometimes. So with this particular type of year, it's not actually such a bad idea to invest in some really ridiculous clothes, but that are also very, very stylish and very unique. It's not so bad to maybe get a red couch, or it's not so bad to get red in your system, like say a lot of tomatoes, a lot of strawberries, a lot of red meat as well if you eat meat. It's not a bad time to really bang out that tune, you know, like say if you're a musician, definitely. This is coming back, you know, to the creative arts. Really, the juiciest ideas come into years like this, you know, the juiciest, most epic, artiest things happen during these types of transits. So take advantage of it. If you want to know more about your individual chart for this year, or if you would like a reading, let me know and I'll hook you up. Thanks a lot. Bye.